This is just a quick look over one of my students, and basically I just wanted to show how feel and real can sometimes be a long way apart, and also just to show the importance of balance in the swing. So for me, Christina here is on a body track, as you see below her feet, and one of her common problems has always been really the club coming away from the ball a little bit too dragged and a little bit too shut. Part of that link for me would be, if you look at her setup and watch her body track movements from the top, you'll see that her weight is definitely a lot more in her heels, particularly her right heel to start off with. And part of me feels that with that balance and that pressure kind of towards the right heel, what you'll see is she kind of rocks towards her toes and sits down into the takeaway as the club moves away, and this really does have quite a significant effect to the face. It tends to get quite dragged and quite shut from the beginning. So what we worked on today was a little feel of basically, number one, just getting her a little bit more balance. So you'll see here, this is me giving her direction of where her balance is. So you'll see she gets it pretty bang on, 50-50. And just as she comes away, what she's trying to feel is that the hands stay in and the club stays outside the hands and really tries to open. So you'll see her legs remain quite passive, her balance remains quite passive, and the club really starts to open up as it comes away. You'll see here again, same thing, just the hands staying in, the club trying to rotate open but stay in front all the time. And this is the complete opposite to what you'll see on the left hand side as she gets it about halfway back. Now moving into the actual swing, this is her starting to hit shots with it, same feel as we seen there 2 seconds ago, but now you'll see it kind of get about halfway between where her feel was and also where real is on the left hand side. So you'll notice here, first of all, the balance a lot better, weight definitely a little more towards the balls of her feet, and you'll see a much more passive look to the lower body. The club remains outside the hands, it begins to open an awful lot more, and by the time we get it about halfway back, we see that the toe of the club is definitely pointing up a lot more than on the left hand side. And I also like the positioning of the club at this point, where it's a lot more in front of the hands. And for me, a lot of this is really balance orientated. You'll notice the left hand side, she almost looks like she's tipping forward a lot more, while on the right hand side she looks like she stayed in the middle. So for me, it's a nice link to see, you know, number one, the link between balance and that first movement away from the golf ball. Number two, it's also just, like I say, the difference between feel and real, and there really is a huge difference when you show somebody like Christina, say for example, or many others, what actually happens in the swing versus what they actually do. So really good job.